Yellowstone Season 5, Episode 13 features a heartbreaking 1883 reference, what it means for its ending. Yellowstone Season 5, Episode 13 features a connection to 1883 that hints at the ending of Taylor Sheridan's hit neo-Western series on Paramount Network. In Give the World Away, Beth, Kelly Riley, and Case, Luke Grimes, both work to save the ranch in different ways with their unique strengths. Beth auctions off everything the estate owns in a massive sale that garners a healthy $30 million, covering the mortgage that pays the enormous Dutton Ranch tax bill. Meanwhile, Case progresses with his solution, tapping into Beth for business advice that could decide the fate of Yellowstone Season 5, Part 2. At the top of the outing, Case returns from his mission in Yellowstone Season 5, Episode 12, where the former Navy SEAL hunts Grant Horton, Matt Gerald, the man responsible for killing his father. Case threatens the assassin, Counting Coup, at the end of Yellowstone Season 5, Episode 12, ensuring his family's safety. As Case prioritizes Tate, Brecken Merrill, and Monica, Kelsey Asbell, he devises a plan to sell the Dutton Ranch. Selling a vital family heirloom in Give the World Away confirms Case's plan will come to fruition, signaling the end of the Dutton family's land ownership legacy in Montana. Beth sells an important Dutton family artifact in Give the World Away. As Beth hosts the auction that will decide the temporary fate of the Dutton Ranch in Yellowstone Season 5, Episode 13, the property hands shepherd out all its property to the auction grounds, where bidders can pay top dollar for pieces of the Yellowstone. The merchandise at the auction includes the green wagon from 1883, in which James, Tim McGraw, and Margaret, Faith Hill, Dutton made their northwestern journey from Texas to Montana. After the auction, the wagon from 1883 is towed off in a black trailer, leaving the property for probably the first time in over a century. The wagon leaving the property signals that Beth is serious about selling everything that isn't nailed down at the Dutton Ranch. More than just a quick way to make money, Beth's efforts to sell Yellowstone property signify her willingness to part with her family's empire, and nothing could send a bigger message than Beth selling the heirloom. The green wagon in the 1883 Yellowstone story is the vessel of the family's original struggle. Their covered wagon was the first thing the Dutton family brought to Paradise Valley in 1883. Thus, the green wagon is the ultimate token of the Dutton family's legacy. It symbolizes the Yellowstone characters in 1883's journey searching for a better life. Also, the wagon is a reminder of the horrors that come with the family's legacy of land ownership in Montana, starting with James' dream. The wagon went through hell and back on the Dutton equivalent of the Oregon Trail, forging the Brazos, traversing the rugged plains, and barreling into Montana's big sky country. As James and Margaret traverse a harrowing path to Montana with their children Elsa, Isabel May, and John Dutton Audie Rick, the Duttons' green wagon is their home as they retreat into the Wild West. It is the Dutton family's vehicle to a brighter future and the roof over their heads while transporting all their material possessions from Tennessee. Thus, the green wagon is critical to establishing the roots of Yellowstone's Dutton family tree in Montana. It reminds us of the family's conquest of prosperity, so selling the 1883 wagon suggests the sun is setting on the Duttons' empire. Featuring James and Margaret's prairie-straddling wagon in Yellowstone Season 5, Episode 13 makes the Dutton Ranch's prophecy more likely. In the 1883 Yellowstone prequel series, James and Margaret's daughter Elsa is shot with a poisonous arrow, and he looks for a final resting place for his daughter where the family can make their homestead. James meets a Crow elder named Spotted Eagle, Graham Greene, who tells James about the Paradise Valley, saying his people will rise and take it from him in 7 generations. James tells Spotted Eagle his people can have it when the time comes. Selling the original covered wagon with Case's proposal to give away the ranch represents the siblings shedding the burden of their family's legacy. While Case leaves his plans vague, setting up an enormous Yellowstone Season 5 finale, signs that he will give the land to the Broken Rock tribe exist, either directly or by passing the land on to his son. Therefore, it is fitting that the wagon leaves the property, signaling a new era for the Yellowstone Dutton Ranch. If they give the land away, the Duttons will have a new legacy, one they don't have to fight for. Yellowstone Season 5, Episode 13 is a pivotal installment in the series, featuring a gut-wrenching callback to 1883, a prequel that holds significant emotional weight for fans of the Dutton family saga. The moment acts as a reflection on the past and the choices that have led to the impending end of the Dutton family's dynasty. Through this reference, Yellowstone doesn't just link the two shows. It lays the emotional foundation for what is to come in the series finale, setting the stage for the end of an era. The 1883 reference and its heartbreaking impact. In this episode, the show revisits one of the most tragic events in 1883, the death of Elsa Dutton, portrayed by Isabel May. Elsa, the heart and soul of 1883, was a symbol of hope, determination, and resilience, carrying the Dutton name with pride as she journeyed westward. Her death, however, was a moment of deep sorrow and a turning point for the Dutton family, marking the end of an era and the beginning of a legacy built on loss and perseverance. The reference to Elsa's death in Yellowstone Season 5, Episode 13, is not just a flashback to the past. It's a symbolic tie that mirrors the fate of the Duttons in the present. As the current generation of Duttons faces the collapse of their ranching empire and the strained relationships that define their family, the weight of Elsa's death looms large. The episode suggests that history has a cyclical nature, with tragedy continuing to strike the Duttons as they struggle to preserve their legacy. The meaning behind Elsa's death in 1883. Elsa's death is one of the most poignant moments in the 1883 series. It's a heartbreaking scene that not only represents the end of Elsa's personal journey, but also encapsulates the larger struggle of the Dutton family. Elsa's sacrifice on the frontier highlights the often brutal cost of survival and the harsh reality of life on the American plains. Her death is the culmination of the pioneering spirit she embodies, one that endures immense hardship but ultimately succumbs to the unforgiving environment. In the context of Yellowstone, Elsa's death carries an even deeper significance. It's a reminder that the Dutton family's survival has come at a high price. Every generation of Duttons has had to fight for what they hold dear, often losing pieces of themselves or loved ones in the process. The series has explored the complex relationships within the family, especially the strained bond between John Dutton, Kevin Costner, and his children. Elsa's death serves as a metaphor for the sacrifices that each generation has made to preserve their way of life. When Elsa dies in 1883, it's a defining moment that foreshadows the future. Her death is a tragic symbol of how each generation of Duttons faces its own set of battles and losses. The reference in Yellowstone Season 5, Episode 13, suggests that history may be repeating itself. John Dutton, now at the helm of the family ranch, faces his own mortality and the destruction of everything he's worked for. His own children, particularly Beth and Jamie, are embroiled in their own destructive conflicts, further emphasizing the emotional toll that the Dutton legacy demands. How this reference prepares us for the ending. As Yellowstone moves toward its series finale, the inclusion of the 1883 reference provides critical context for the show's impending conclusion. The Duttons have always been marked by tragedy, and Elsa's death highlights the harsh reality that they can never fully escape the cycle of pain and loss. Each attempt to secure a better future for the family seems to end in destruction. And the reference to Elsa's death in this episode suggests that the Duttons may face a final, irreparable loss. This reference serves as a narrative device that connects the past and the present in a way that deepens the emotional stakes of the story. It's a reminder that the Dutton family has always been defined by their struggle to preserve their land, legacy, and identity. As the show builds to its conclusion, the fate of the family feels inevitable, but also tragic. The past has set the stage for the future, and Yellowstone seems to be preparing its audience for the ultimate sacrifice that will likely mark the series' ending. The reference also sheds light on the personal costs of power and legacy. John Dutton, in his pursuit to protect the ranch, has alienated his children, and the tension in the family reaches a boiling point in this episode. The parallels between John's actions and those of previous generations, particularly Elsa's tragic death, suggests that the cost of preserving the Dutton name may be too high. The end of Yellowstone could see the Dutton family splintering, much like Elsa's death splintered the original family unit in 1883.